Hi guys, welcome again, and I have something exciting for you all. As some of you know already, everything has completed for the May 2025 Wings1 cycle. Either is a assessment or a result, everything has announced for the May 2025 cycle, and it's time to look forward for new Wings1 cycle, which is going to happen in November 2025. So it's time to register and book your seat for the Knome assessment. So Wings1 communication team has already announced registration survey to book your seat to take the Knome assessment. And in this video I'm going to explain about how to fill your registration survey, what will be the cutoff date for the prerequisite completion, for the external certification, for the domain learning completion, and what will be the eligibility for all the associate for the Knome cycle. So sit back, relax and enjoy this video. I'm going to explain everything in detail. And first let's see the eligibility criteria for the associate to sit in Wings1 assessment in November. An associate must have grade Y, YD, YG, CS1, C1Y, C1. So if you have any one of these grades, you are eligible to attempt the Wings1, and above all the grades are not eligible for Wings1, they are eligible for Wings2. Okay, so if you guys have grade any one of these, you are eligible for Knome cycle. And second point they mentioned, if an associate is promoted to C2 within a particular financial year, he shall be allowed to continue Wings1 curriculum and take up the next immediate cycle only. Okay, it means if an associate is promoted from C1 to C2, then he is only allowed to take Wings1 assessment just immediate cycle after his promotion. Let's for example, if he is promoted in month of April from C1 to C2 grade, then he is only eligible to take Knome cycle only. Okay, and he is not eligible for May 2026 cycle. So November 2025 cycle is a just immediate cycle after his promotion, so he is only allowed to take immediate cycle which is after his promotion. So that's the rule. And in the third point they mentioned appraisal band A or B or anniversary rating 4 or 5 only for the associate who are not yet received their performance band. So for the experienced people, you know already, like you get your appraisal band in the month of April. So if you guys received A or B band, then you are only allowed to take the Wings1 in the Knome cycle, and if you have C band, you are not eligible. Okay, and for the freshers who don't have any performance band, their anniversary rating will count for the Knome cycle. Okay, so if the for fresher 4 or 4 plus anniversary rating is mandatory to take up the Wings1 assessment in the November. And in the note they mentioned for freshers or trainees who do not have appraisal band or anniversary rating, only iEvolve learning prerequisite will be considered. Okay, work performance will not be considered. So whoever associate they joined recently or from past 2 months or 6 months or 8 months, either for 11 months they don't have the anniversary rating or any band, so there for them only iEvolve prerequisite completion will be considered. So just complete your prerequisite before the deadline. I will tell you the deadline date in the next slide. So for fresher who don't have any appraisal band or anniversary rating, only for you guys prerequisite completion will be considered. So complete it and book your seat for the Knome cycle. And lastly they mentioned complete your iEvolve learning for the tracks you wish to appear for before the cutoff date. Okay, so it just for information, you have to complete your prerequisite whatever tracks you want to appear for the Knome cycle before the cutoff date. So complete it. And next let's see what will be the rules for filling the survey form. And in this blog they mentioned, dear associate, registration are now open for Wings1 Knome 2025 assessment. As you gear up for the Knome 2025 cycle, please ensure that you are registered for the track wise proctor assessment based on your learning progress in your respective tracks. Okay, so first here is what they want to say is like, choose only those track in the survey form for which you completed the prerequisite in the iEvolve. Okay, suppose you completed the prerequisite for T3 track and you filled in the survey form for the T4 track, then you are not going to receive the admit card because you have completed the prerequisite for other track and you have filled in the registration for other track. Okay, so the same prerequisite you have completed in the iEvolve, the same you have to fill in the survey form, otherwise you are not going to get the admit card for that particular track. Okay, so keep that in the mind. And next they are saying here are a few things to keep in mind before you register. First point, choose your track carefully, keeping in mind the registration guidelines. Associate are eligible to appear only for 2 track plus articulation track if they want to appear. So here what they want to convey is like, you can only select 2 tracks plus articulation if you wish to appear. Okay, so you can select one tech track, one non-tech track plus articulation, and you can also select two tech track plus articulation, but you cannot select two non-tech track at a single time. Okay, so make that in mind. If you already completed your track 2 with business skill or process or with external certification in previous cycle, so please select two tech tracks, so that if you complete any one of these or got distinction in any one of the tech track, it will be considered for you track 1. Okay, so just fill the survey form in that way. And in the second point, they mentioned securing minimum pass score in articulation is mandatory requirement to qualify for digital. So you already know for digital we only need a pass in the articulation, not the distinction grade, and distinction is mandatory for the innovator milestone, not for the digital. Okay, and third point, they mentioned completion of domain learning is mandatory for the digital also. And for domain, you don't have to sit in the assessment, you can complete domain learning at your home anytime. So there is also cutoff date for domain learning. I will tell you in the next slide. Let's see the next point. Please connect with your unit TD to know the learning cutoff date for internal unit elective. Okay, so whatever queries you have regarding Wings1, you can connect with your unit TD regarding any queries, and they will answer it shortly. Okay, so let's move to next slide and see the cutoff date for all the prerequisite completion, registration survey, and what are the tentative dates for the November assessment. So here is the cutoff date for all the Wings1 activities related for November cycle. For registration survey, they mentioned 26th of September. You have to register before 26th of September to be eligible for November cycle. And second one, you have to complete your prerequisite for whatever the tracks you want to appear in Wings1. You have to complete it before 26th of September. So whatever courses you will complete after 26th of September will not considered for the November cycle. So make sure whatever tracks you are opting in the registration survey, it should be completed. Their prerequisite will be completed before the 26th of September. These are the deadlines. Okay. And third, unit elective learning cutoff will be 15th of September. External certification, they have given quite longer periods, up to 30th of November. You can upload in iVol and get it approved by your CVO. And domain learning completion is also up to 30th of November you can complete. So you can complete it up to 30th of November, both external certification and domain learning. And they have also provided the tentative date for I1 assessment for MCQ and hands-on. For MCQ for articulation, process, business, and whatever tech track we have MCQ assessment for, they have provided a starting date of 15th of November and ending date 23rd of November. And for hands-on tentative, it is 29th of November and end date is 7th of December. You know guys, like hands-on and MCQ exam going to happen in different shift, so there is a start and end date for all the hands-on and MCQ assessment for all the tech track. So these are the details they provided. Now let's fill the registration survey so you guys can get an idea how to fill the registration survey for November 2025 assessment. Let's start this clip. So this is a registration survey form for IT and ITIS people, and here is the point they mentioned, which I already conveyed in the previous slide. And registration closure date is 26th of September. You have to complete the registration before this date. And also for prerequisite completion in the iVol, the date is 26th of September, which I already mentioned. So just complete your prerequisite before the deadline. Now let's see the form what they mentioned. So from here the form begins, and first point they mentioned, like I'm aware of any HR action, like if you cheat in exam or do any malpractice, you will be absconded from the Wings1 assessment. So you have to choose just agree, and if you want to to appear for articulation track, just choose yes, either no. If you don't want to appear, I'll suggest you to give articulation exam in every cycle if you don't have the distinction grade. If you already have the distinction grade, then you don't have to retake the assessment. If you have just pass, you don't have any grade, so you have to appear for the articulation assessment. This is my suggestion. And make sure whatever tracks you are opting in the track 1, that track must be under your unit, and for the same you completed the prerequisite in the iVol. And for track 2, if you don't have completed your track 2 with external certification, then you can opt business skill or process. And by any chance, if you already completed your track 2 with business skill or external certification, so here they mention please do not register for the same track as the previous one. So if you want to choose two tech track in the same cycle, so track 1, track 2 both you can choose different tech track. Okay, so coming to the innovator assessment, so for innovator assessment there is a prerequisite, like in the previous cycle for whatever the tracks you got pass or distinction grades, you are only allowed to take the innovator assessment for that track. Okay, so if you got pass or distinction in T7, you can only take the innovator assessment for T7. Okay, and in the bottom they mention like please select your preferred location for the Wings1 assessment. So whatever assessment you will choose, you will get I1 center of that location. Okay, so just fill the form and make sure whatever guidelines I provided to you, you have to follow all to be eligible to take the assessment in the Knome cycle. So this is a very detailed video regarding the survey form for Knome cycle. I hope you guys like it, and even if you have any doubt regarding Wings1 or TCS, ask me in comment section, and thanks for watching.